Stop telling everyone I'm dead! What's up, everybody? It has been a minute. I hope that y'all are doing well. So, this is kind of a spur of the moment stream, to be perfectly honest. Not exactly spur of the moment, more spur of like the day, the night, the life. Also, I know that like live stream analytics are not necessarily reliable, but I find it hilarious that the moment I screamed that line, the people number on the left side went down from 3 to 1. Oh man. So yeah, welcome everyone. I know this channel is mostly about like live stream. Well, not live stream. It's mostly about like talking about cartoons and media and being a pretentious boy. But today I thought, you know what? They haven't seen my tabletop RPG side. Let's show them some of that. So that is exactly what we are doing today. I am here with my wonderful friends, Vernadera. You can find her on Twitch. I'll be sure to put a link. I should have put a link in the description before I started streaming. But yeah, that's Vern. And my other wonderful friend, Nil, who I don't believe does anything publicly. He's
Nope.
just a cool dude.
I'm an enigma.
You are an enigma. You just show up on my stream occasionally.
Yeah,
Yeah. No one knows who I am.
very
I
fair.
don't know. I know who you are.
No,
You're
you don't.
you're a person, that's for sure.
Highly unfortunate. No one deserves to be a person. So people are horrible creatures. So, I had a little bit of an idea that arose about like a week or two ago because I was recommended the webcomic UnOrdinary, which is
Such good.
very good. I recommend it to
R.I.P.
anybody currently watching it. What do you mean RIP?
I mean, you sold your soul to it.
I did. How
As
many
soon as you
times do I
started
have,
reading it.
Vern, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't have a soul. I can't sell something I don't have.
True enough.
Fair.
So, yeah, it's a very, very good. And it's good enough that I was like, man, I really want to RP in this world. I want to, like, make characters for this. And when I want to do something and play in a game that doesn't exist, I'm like, well, I guess I'll run it then. So, I went ahead and got myself a copy of the Fate, the second edition of Fate Fudge Dice stuff. I guess the technical term is Fate Fantastic Adventures in Tabletop Entertainment Fudge Edition, which, I'll be real, that's about as pretentious as we can possibly get. So the whole point of Fate is that you're meant to start with the system as a base and then build upon it, take some stuff out, replace what you need to, etc., etc. So that is exactly what we are going to do. So this, I believe, will be... Have either of you had any experience with the Fate core system before?
Nope.
Okay. So that's... Man, that's really funny, because Vern has had no experience with either Fate or the webcomic UnOrdinary, of which we're basing this on. And Nil has Neil has experience with both, so that's very fascinating. So let me give you guys, the players and the audience, a rundown of how this goes. So I have made a much more simple little rule book that I'll go ahead and just share over with you guys. Um, you guys being my players.
I'm a player. I mean, I know I'm a player, but I don't know if you're a player.
All right. So we're calling this a little bit extraordinary because I am, if nothing else, extra in everything that I do. And
Oh, wait, no.
the creation of your character is actually pretty simple. For anybody who doesn't know what UnOrdinary is, and I'm saying this for both players' sake and for audience members' sake, it's basically think My Hero Academia, but the whole society is incredibly cruel. Like, the most cruel. There's no superheroes, there's no super villains, there's just bad people, pretty much. Um, and the society encourages that. They encourage open fights out of nowhere between superpowered individuals to determine a hierarchy on which society can be based. It's kind of fucking nuts, and it's really hard to understand without reading the comic, but we're gonna try anyway. So, character creation, which is going to be the easiest way for you to get to know the system in general, uh, goes in a series of phases. So we start each phase. We're going to be deciding and naming an aspect relevant to that phase. And we're going to be spending 4 skill points on different skills that your characters would build during that phase of your life. So phases are basically just time periods of your life, and the aspects are kind of the defining traits you gained in that stage. So, for example, heritage, what we're first starting with. As it says right there, in this world, your birth determines almost everything about your quality of life. High tier people with really strong powers give birth to high tier people with really strong powers. Low tiers give birth to low tiers. High tiers and low tiers meeting in the middle make mid tiers. And any mid tier relationships, obviously, make more mid tiers. And financial success is usually tied into those things, but can sometimes be separate. Like, there are some instances of people without any superpowers still finding financial success and being relatively successful in the world that they're in. So this first phase is based on what kind of family did you come from? What are your parents like? What expectations do they and others have for you? How does that inform your life? And to help with figuring that out, I do want to ask, what kind of character concepts are you guys going for? Like, what do you see yourself playing and playing well in the context of this game?
I have no idea, honestly. It's like one of the first times that I'm like, I don't fucking know what character I want to make.
Okay. Nil, do you have an idea?
Well, one of the first things I always have to decide when it comes to making a character is competency level. And that usually for me means, do I want them to kind of suck,
Mm-hmm.
or do I want them to be moderately useful? I very, very rarely often make someone who's just generally powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I have to start. Which is basically the question. That's the question that we're being asked. So
Yeah. Um, so I guess here, let me start this off with kind of an obvious question. What do you like? regardless of their power level, do you think your character would approve of society as it is in this world, in this area?
I can answer that one. No.
Okay, that's
The
a good start.
society in UnOrdinary isn't very good. It's everyone has a place, stay in your place.
Yep, pretty much.
And if you overstep, then well,
Yeah.
You know what? I want to stick with my earlier concept that I told you about.
Okay, do you want to explain that one to the
share with
class?
us.
Hmm.
I'm the class high.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, to our viewers, we are technically missing a potential player. They have not gotten back to me. Their sleep schedule is fucked. They might invade at some point.
The
So
sleep
is it.
schedule doesn't exist,
They
especially for them.
Their sleep schedule is I'm dead.
They only are awake at night. That's it.
Yeah. So anyway, yes. What was the character? What was the character concept you gave me?
I was it literally. I didn't mean to blurt that out when I did. So you're free to like continue talking.
I mean, I literally the last question that I asked was what kind of character concept you wanted to work with. So if you have that answer, then congratulations, you've made it so I don't need to talk right now.
But Nil was talking, so I'm gonna let Nil finish talking and then I'll talk.
Nil was talking.
Nil said that he needed to focus on his character's competency level and figure that out, which meant that he hadn't figured that out yet. If you have something figured out,
Okay, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry.
I promise I'm not angry. It's just role players are the most indecisive people on the planet.
I think I do want to go with the idea of a character that has odd circumstances and decides to push past the boundaries of what is the norm.
Okay. Would you like to be more specific so Nil knows what he's working with?
Oh, do you want me to? Oh, okay.
We're here to make characters together. I don't want us to be keeping our characters a secret from each other. That defeats the purpose.
Oh, I see. In that case, I want to have a character that is of like relative like mid to high tier, but is raised by low tier.
Hmm.
Unknowingly unknowing that she is of that.
Yeah. So for full context, what Vern was telling me about earlier was the idea of a character who was born from high tier parents, but their parents were not like known. They just kind of got disappeared or just disappeared off the face of the earth. And as a result, they were just given to whoever wanted to adopt them because your abilities don't develop until you're in middle school. So how could the state have known what their tier was? And the person and the people who wanted to adopt them were low tiers. And as a full just to give a certain level of perspective, I realized I should have done this for you guys earlier than this. For the difference between high tiers, low tiers, mid tiers, etc. Mid tier, so powers go on a 10-point scale in this world. Mid tiers are 2.5 to 3.5.
Oh wow.
Because they're the most common, so they're considered the middle of the road.
A three is like the middle round. Holy shit.
Yeah, because it's the most common tier, basically. Low tiers are anything below 2.5. High tier is anything from 3.5 to 5. And
I thought
anything
it was off
from
of a 10-point system.
it is anything from 5 to like 7.5 is considered elite. Like that's holy shit.
Ah.
That's the kind of person that could decimate a city block.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. That's OP. I don't want that. No, thank you.
Mhm. And 7.5 to 10 is god tier.
What?
Like, how are you going to fight this? This is a monster. um,
In that case,
yeah.
I feel a bit better about what my idea was.
I,
So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if it would actually be more of a mid-tier thing than an actual high-tier thing.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, but as for heritage, so given that your heritage is you don't know who your birth parents are, you were adopted by this low tier parentage, and bear in mind that this phase is happening before you know what your ability is.
Yeah.
What if you had to choose in like 1 to 2 words how you would describe that? Then
What do you mean?
like that your experience as being born to this family, effectively being raised by these low tiers, like while unknowingly being a high tier. If you had to give that a name that was 1 to 2 words long, what would you name it? What would you name that experience?
All right, time to Google some words.
Like, as an example, if we take one of the characters from the actual comic, Arlo, he is a high tier, born from high tiers, raised as a high tier, expected to be a high tier, and has high expectations as a result. He is expected to be very, obedient, very orderly. He's expected to be an example for people below him to follow. That kind of
Okay.
person would probably have an aspect of golden boy, as an example. Like, he's the
Oh, you
golden
mean like
child.
okay.
Yeah.
Like a title, basically. Okay.
Yeah. Something that you would either have pride in or be labeled as. Or, it's just kind of a unknowing way of how you think about yourself.
mm,
Yeah, she needs a second to think. Are you asking me roughly the same questions?
Um, well, first you need to actually figure out what kind of birth your character would have come from in the first place, and then you can figure
That's
out the name and stuff like that.
that's fair. Well, I have the ability I want, so I have to figure out either where that aligns or I guess it can align anywhere depending how much it is. All right, so it's roughly what, 3 levels? Poor, medium, high.
Yeah,
Right.
low, mid, high, and theoretically you could become an elite tier, but we'll start with low, medium, high.
Right, don't worry, roll the d20. How do I cut this into 4s?
with an
One,
X-Acto knife.
1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to
And then
20.
and then don't care about 16 to 20. Got it.
Or you could, if you're trying to cut it to threes, then you just do it by 6 instead of 5,
All right, roll an
and
8.
ignore 19 and 20. Did you say you rolled an 18?
Yeah, I rolled an 18 twice. Look at that.
Then that
I
would
have
be
a
then that would be a high tier.
fantastic.
Woo!
I have 5 d20 maybe, and I
Yeah.
rolled them all. My bad.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
cannot be a high tier. I can be weak. Let's
No,
go.
no, 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 no. I'm saying that for your sake.
What, being a high tier?
There, you've read the comic. You know what comes with being a high tier.
It comes. Yeah, I mean that's yeah. Fair. I mean, it's also half of someone else's fault that's with them, but still.
Yeah. Well,
I'm also not fully caught up yet, which I should fix.
yeah.
I don't know anything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it goes from like dumb high school stuff to like shit gets real, and there isn't really a lot of buffer in between those two sections.
Yep. Hmm. So, how goes figuring out that aspect name, Vern?
An aspect name.
For your heritage, yes. I literally just came up with one, if you want it.
Okay.
Rags to riches.
Okay. I would like that, yeah. And that's what she eventually wants to, be more. Not
Right.
that her like parents are like bad or anything. It's just
Mhm.
Yeah, you want
the
more.
society's kind of shit, so
Yeah. So, if you open up your character sheet, you see on the right there's a bunch of aspects, a big old thing where it says edit aspects. Where it has the label of heritage directly underneath that in aspect, you just put the name Rags to Riches.
okay.
And now, on the left, where you see all of that big old list of skills, you have
Yeah.
4 skill points to spend. You can spend them to bring you can spend 1 skill point to raise 1 skill up by 1. Now, real quick, this works off of a pyramid system. So,
A pyramid scheme?
yeah. So, in order to have, say, 1 skill at a +2, you need to first have 2 skills at +1. And then to have a single skill at +3, you need to first have 2 skills at +2, and so on.
Okay.
You always need to have 1 more skill at the lower rank directly beneath the one that you have.
Does that skill say? Yeah, that skill does say missile.
Yeah. So missile is just any ranged attack.
Fair enough.
Yeah, missile, that makes sense.
Yeah. You will notice that the combat skills are very vague. Because there's,
That's how fate do.
well, I mean, I could have made them more specific. But I didn't think it was worth it, given that almost everyone in this world can fight to some extent.
Just some people can fight a lot better.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, come on. Stop fighting me. So how many skills do I start with?
You start with so just with this phase, 4 skill points to spend. And you could spend 2 of those, making 1 skill a +2. If you wanted to. At this point, you would only be able to do like a +2 and 2 +1s at the absolute most. But I do recommend focusing on the ones that have stuff to do with this label, with this phase. So, like, these are things you would be skilled as by being a high tier unknowingly raised, or unknowingly a high tier raised by low tiers.
I have decided.
Okay. Then let's move on to Nil's heritage phase.
Hey,
What do you
bud.
got? What do you got for me?
All right, so you want like a phrase or a thing, right?
Tell me what your heritage is, and then we'll figure out the aspect name.
Oh, fair. I rolled, so he's probably as a high tier birth.
Okay.
So sort of.
And as far as these particular parents and these family members that he has, how do they operate as high tiers? Are they the
Um,
traditional, like, must bring honor to us all kind of high tiers? Are they
they're a lot. They're so like they kind of fit pretty snugly within society norms. Their mentality is, um, for a while it was just a selfish thing, but it's branched to like the family. Uh, Protect the family at all costs. Tear down everyone who opposes.
okay?
We're better and stronger than them anyways.
Mhm.
However, which with that it comes with the whole, we're better, we're stronger, we're smarter. Uh, like it.
Okay,
You have to be prim and proper.
right,
You need to be the one that people can look at and go, no, that's a model citizen.
right. So, what aspect do you think would be a good name for that?
And this is about my character, right? Now
Yes,
how that affects them.
yes.
Hmm.
What did all of that give to their life and personality?
What's the word? Firebrand. He hates it.
Okay, sure.
How does this work? Where's my one? Where's my roll 20 sheet? There it is.
Yeah. So open that up where it says aspect underneath the label of heritage. You just put the name that you put. Yeah,
Firebrand. Yep.
there you go. Okay. So cool. And now you pick uh, whatever skills you want to spend your 4 skill points on.
Oh Jesus! I clicked the button. One of these. Okay, and they should align with what we just talked about, right?
Yes,
All right.
they should have some relevance to that. Probably in the ways of what did you learn from your family or what did your family force you to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a, hmm. I shouldn't keep anything secret between my compatriots, correct?
That is correct, at least not at this point.
Okay. So I want to have a little quirky thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't feel pain, but in like the most detrimental way possible.
Hmm. Yeah.
So if she had a gash on her back and was bleeding to death, she doesn't feel it and she doesn't know.
Right. Okay. Is that like her main ability or
No.
is that an after effect? Okay.
That's just like an after thing.
Yeah. So I will say with this particular
As a genetic disorder kind of thing is what I would
oh,
think.
okay, a genetic disorder. Okay, so that's separate entirely from like superpowers.
It has nothing to do with her power. Her body literally just doesn't feel it.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay,
It has nothing to do with her power.
cool. All right. What you gonna do with those 2 last skill points, no?
Jordan's like the mom, like leaning over your shoulder, like, what you got there, sweetie?
This is part of why I wanted a small player pool, is because I knew you guys would get lost
Not
in an
fluff.
in this system. So I
I have
get
no
to
idea what's happening.
hound you. So
Did you say
cool.
pound me or hound
Hound
me?
with an
Wait.
H.
Okay,
Jesus
suicide.
Christ. Holy shit. Yeah,
Yeet me off a cliff. I know. I'm sorry.
that's about the best introduction I could give to Vern. I really can't like do her any more justice than she just did herself. So,
What do you mean? What does that mean?
what do you mean? What do I mean? Anyway, so now we move on to the second phase, and this repeats until we do all four, well, 5 phases of character creation. So, next phase is equality. There is exactly one period in everyone's life where... Oh, I just realized this is probably playing... Nope. Okay, cool. Right? Right. Cool. There's exactly one period in everyone's life where they are equals with other people around them. And that's elementary school.
Okay.
From kindergarten through to 6th grade, that's the only time in which nobody really has an ability except the really early bloomers. So everybody's just kind of equals. What I want to ask you guys is, moving from your home life, your heritage, how did you treat others back then? How would others have treated you? And how would all of that have impacted your current worldview? That's what this phase is about. The state in which you are equals with other people. How did life go?
So we're equals with other people, but our families above us aren't. So I imagine we're still judged based off of our lineage.
Exactly. It's the closest to equality that you can get, but there's still a little bit of influence there. Of course, it would be more the parents judging you than the kids. Kids are too young at that point to really understand.
Fair enough. Shit.
I imagine she's not treated well, honestly. If she's raised by low tier parents.
Like maybe other kids' parents are all like, "Oh, don't be friends with that one. That's a bad apple."
Exactly.
Okay.
How you just said, don't be friends with that one. That one's the bad. That's what I was probably told. Though, because this is both how others looked at us and how we, yeah. Since forever, it's the reason he's probably been to multiple remedial schools. Not like you need to be better at learning, but be a better person. He would probably roll his eyes and go, "Well, you told me not to, so that's my best friend now."
Interesting. Okay. So he got into the rebellious phase very young. Gotcha.
Yeah, he probably has multiple
shit.
siblings. And like watching them just kind of walk around super like calm, collected, head held high, strutting around was kind of like, well, I could be like him, I guess.
And what's
So
up, Fern?
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I asked
thought you were
what's
done.
up. No, I was directing it to you. What's up?
Oh, alright. Well, I was gonna go with the idea that she takes all that negativity when she's very young. Oh no, we're still in the elementary school phase, so she's not
Yeah.
rebellious or anything yet.
Oh, we're gonna cause so many problems.
Yeah.
We're gonna die.
I can change it though, where she's more of a good girl.
You don't have to.
She's still a good girl. She's just like, well, if everyone sees me as an asshole and a bad kid anyways, I might as well be.
Entirely fair. That's very common.
I don't know if there's like a
what?
An equivalent for Juvie in this.
There is.
Universe. Okay. She gets in with the wrong crowd.
Oh.
Not like bad stuff, but like she like robs houses and stuff.
Okay, so that'll be in middle school. What is she like in elementary school?
In elementary school, she probably gets into fights, honestly.
Okay.
Hey, she's like my sister.
Like people push her around and she like fucking decks them.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then she's the one who gets in trouble for it,
Right.
as as you do.
Man, you guys are little firecrackers starting shit off
She's a violent child.
right as your children.
Yeah, mine's more of the political though. If someone goes through hands on my character, he's probably just getting his ass beat. Like it's not.
Aight, cool. Um,
She's not really good with words. She's good with fist.
Hey, cool. At least we have that differently.
aight. So, what name would you give that time of your life?
Trying to think.
Words do a bad.
God,
Head hurt.
did you know that I used to be like the top student in English for the longest time? And nowadays I barely know how to read.
Hey, I couldn't read the whole time.
Oh fuck.
What's reading?
You guys are
I feel,
learning how to read?
I feel like you could read really well.
I can, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that one can.
I I read so well I don't even know what it is. I'm just like, oh, there's words. Okay, I'm done.
Christ. Let me think. So the start is a rag to riches. That's what she wants. Is what she wants, and an overall goal.
So, goal is an entirely different aspect, by the way.
Oh shit! Never mind. All right, never mind.
So, if you want that to be your goal, we'd have to come up with another aspect for heritage. But we can come back to that, I guess.
Wait a minute. What does that word mean?
What does what word mean?
I think I might go with obstinate.
I think I might change the aspect to hopeful circumstances or hopeful circumstance.
Your heritage?
Yeah.
Okay. And Nil, for your equality,
Quality.
Yep.
Obstinate, which is stubbornly refuse to change one's opinion or
Actually,
choose
I'm
course
just
of
gonna
action
change it
despite attempts to pursue you to do so.
okay, sure,
Mostly because they tried to tell me not to, so I did.
right.
I just
And
had
then
to change it back.
now this is probably where I stop being a firebrand for a bit. Gotta fall in line at some point.
Mm-hmm. Oh shoot, I did actually miss. Hold on, let me put that in.
Okay, so what would she be labeled as in elementary school?
Mm-hmm. While you're figuring that out, right, Nil? Now that you've figured out your name, your aspect, let's get 4 more skill ranks in there. You can obviously enhance.
So I can get to a +2.
You could, yeah, if you wanted to. You could have done that before this.
Yep. Boom. Done.
I figured it out.
Okay.
Empathy, which was like the whole theme of that.
Yeah. Sounds good.
That's not one of just.
Wait a minute. No, you've got one more point to spend if you want to. No.
One, two, three, four, five, six. Oh shit, you're right, Chief.
Ooh, Reckless Rebellion. Okay, wow, your guys' aspects are Very similar.
We'll figure it
They
out. It'll
are.
change. Watch. It'll change immediately after. I'm gonna go running because I'm gonna have to run away from my problems.
Sounds good.
1, 2, 3. Okay. I think I did 4.
Let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3,
Yep,
4.
you're
Yeah.
good. All right, cool. So now we move on to the third phase, and there's going to be an extra step in this one. We'll take care of that at the end. So, your ability phase. This is the period of life that is middle school. And it could extend a little bit further or a little bit earlier, depending on when you want your character to have awoken to their ability. But this is that period of life where you awaken to the power that you were given at birth. Most of the time, it's the same power your parents had, or a variation. If you had like a mixing of different abilities, you could get one from either parent, or like you could get a specific one that one of your parents had, or some kind of weird mix from that other thing, or something that just relates to one of them. So, for example, somebody born from two different parents, one that had like some kind of metal-related ability and one that had a lightning ability, could obtain something specifically about magnetism. That's that's very probable. Or they could just get lightning or that metal ability. So, what abilities did you guys get? And what ability rank were you when you got them? Because they don't immediately start out super strong. Everyone's ability takes some time to build up. It just eventually reaches like a cap. And where that cap is usually more determined when you're actually in high school. And that's where the hierarchies start to get established. But when you first got your ability, what was it and how strong was it?
I think she gets hers a little late.
Okay.
And so she's like really hopeful that maybe it'll be something special, and then it turns out to just be something really weak at first.
Mhm.
And it's gonna take her a while for it to grow.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with electric powers.
Okay. So, like, she produces lightning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that. Like I want to eventually evolve into like a super speed, but I don't know if that's gonna be allowed.
There are potential ways. There's precedent for that in the comic, so.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying that it's highly likely, yeah.
Okay. I'll take that. We take those.
Nil, what about you?
Juggling a couple ideas. One of
Okay.
the ideas I had was speed, but I can put that to the side.
Could still be speed. You guys don't have to have different abilities. And
No,
plus,
but that would make it more fun.
fair enough. And plus, you having, like, her having lightning and you having super speed is still different enough. Like, let's say you are able to run at 50 miles per hour without taking any like physical damage from the wind pressure or the friction, that implies other things. That implies your body is physically enhanced to be able to handle that kind of pressure. So you would actually have some degree of strength as well as speed, which she would
Fair.
not have. She would have a little less durability because all she needs to worry about is the energy pulsing through her body. Like, she might have some heat resistance, she might have some, other stuff, but she wouldn't have physical force resistance as much.
Yeah.
So, just throwing that out there. Basically, anything else that is special about your character, barring, medical conditions, branches out from this one special thing you can do.
I do the zippy zaps.
Yeah.
Could. So, extraordinary ones. The power system is extraordinary ones. That's whatever. Fine name. Power system's kind of all over the place a bit, like what one person can get. How do I explain this? Have you watched One Piece?
Yes.
All right. Do you know Law?
Yes.
So you know how he has his doctor room?
Yeah.
Make that space probably significantly smaller.
Mm.
And just doing like a, I don't know, that's about a foot, like a 2 foot area around it is just under his control.
Okay.
Like if it's raining, he could put a finger up and the water would go as if it was hitting an umbrella that wasn't there.
I see.
Mm.
What would that ability be called?
I was just gonna. Spatial awareness isn't.
That's kind of cool.
Spatial command.
Okay, sure. So you can put that down as the aspect. And when you become capable of using your ability, the first instinct everybody has is to train with it, to be able to like master it. And you start that immediately, like in middle school.
Yeah.
So that plus like the beginnings of the hierarchy. Go ahead and figure out what your 4 skill ranks would be based on all of that.
My fourth. So, all right.
So like what would your character's
What is spot?
Spot is so awareness is basically your ability to notice movement. Just like if somebody's coming up on you, you are aware of that. Spot is your ability to notice things that are not moving. So like if somebody's rolling stealth to just hide and stay still, you roll spot to see if you can spot them out. But if somebody is rolling stealth to sneak past you, they're trying to beat your awareness score. Or you are rolling awareness to make sure nobody's doing exactly that. That kind of thing.
Okay. And I have 4 skill points again.
Yes. Each
All right.
phase, 4 skill points. Never changes.
Okay. So that's 3.
What is bluff?
So the
Lying.
difference between bluff and deception is bluff is the kind of lie that is basically saying, I'm better than you when you're actually not. Or I have this up my sleeve when you actually don't. Deception is not playing yourself up, it's just straight up lying to their face. Like, there's no kernel of truth to this. You're just fooling them. So bluff is literally you're bluffing. Deception is a lie.
Can we go to 3?
Of course you can.
Okay, cool.
As long as you have enough skill points and you have support for it.
Awareness. That's kind of the entire point of the power.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That's...
How did you use it? Probably poorly. How can you control it? Probably poorly.
So I need 2 more. So do I have to have 2 skills to 2 before I make 1 to 3?
Yes.
I see. All right.
Okay. So... Now, here's that third step I mentioned we were going to have to take. You will notice, if you scroll down, there's a section of your sheet labeled Stunts.
Okay.
We're going to click Add for each of those. Okay. And we're going to name it after your ability. So, Spatial Command and Lightning. Oh, Battery. Okay. Change the aspect name as well. And we're going to start by describing what this ability was at the very beginning of its inception. And so, to give you an example of what I'm talking about here, we are going to start by making it highly specific and incredibly underpowered. And we'll go up from there. And the higher tier an ability is, the more vague and powerful you can be with its description. But it's only ever one thing. Maybe you can use that thing to indirectly make other things happen. Like if you use lasers that come out of your hand to propel your movement. That works. But that's it. And those other things that will naturally come with your ability, like the whole resistance to heat example that comes from lightning abilities, that will also come into play for a higher tier power.
Eventually.
Right, eventually. But we're starting at the beginning. So, as an example of how to write one of the descriptions for these abilities, let's say I have this character Vincent, and his ability is super speed. He starts as a low tier, so I write his ability's description as, I can run at speeds of 15 miles per hour in one direction. So, whenever I say I'm activating this ability in-game, that's what he does. Runs really fast in exactly one direction. This means that if I want him to turn, he's going to have to slow down or stop. I'd consider this a low-tier ability, maybe a mid-tier, depending on your subjective definition of, his speed. Maybe if I make his speed like 20 miles per hour, then that is going to, make it maybe closer to a mid-tier.
Okay.
But let's say I want this character to definitely be a mid-tier. Well, I just change the numbers on his speed and let him turn without slowing down or stopping. I can run at speeds of 30 miles per hour without hurting myself. Like, no mention of direction means no limit there. He can just do this. And as a reminder, this is a mid-tier ability. This guy still can't go quite as fast as a speeding car can. But the fact that he can withstand 30 miles of direct air pressure and ground friction without hurting himself is still kind of strong. It implies some degree of greater strength than us bog-standard humans. So that's pretty much it. Just like one sentence of, this is what this ability does, with whatever implications that can imply. So, how would you guys write your ability knowing this? At the barest minimum level. And then we'll work from there.
But that means when we got our power, that's
Yes.
when we're going to write it?
Yeah. And as we go through these phases, we'll adjust it as time goes on.
I'd say starting out, she can produce electric energy like, well, it's called battery for a reason,
Hmm.
but it's only like a small battery at first.
Okay,
She can give a little zap.
gotcha.
When it first shows up, it's like a little zap. That's it.
So are we like by a little zap? Do you mean like, ow, I just got a static shock from touching a metal pole? Or
You
is
say
it
that,
stronger than that?
it's gonna hurt more than that, that's for sure.
Okay, okay.
But she doesn't realize it hurts that much.
Hmm.
She still feels it, of course, because nerves, but she's just like, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
It'd be other people that are like, ow, don't fucking touch me.
The
other people are like, ow.
Oh.
Shut up.
Just let me know when you're done writing that full description, Vern. And Nil, how's yours coming?
Trying to think of the limits I want to put on it when it first comes out.
Okay.
Also, the idea that like effectively a child was like, "Hey, you have this power now." Kind of a little spooky.
Yeah. Just oh, I just touched a person and they're floating in air. And if I like cut them with a knife, their blood doesn't spill or anything. I can separate their limbs and they still move around like they're not separate.
Yeah, probably less than Law's doctor room. That's the best thing I could think of. Oh wait, actually, hold on.
Hmm.
What's this person's power? Have you watched Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yes.
I guess it's closer to infinity. You can't touch him. This is what this is. Never mind. This is a very long stat. This is a very wall of text.
Yeah.
Removing everything.
I was
I
gonna.
think it's okay. Maybe not. Maybe he's bad. Apparently, there's a lot to what I just said.
Yeah, no, like Gojo Satoru's power is basically just uh I can manipulate space itself however I goddamn please. Like if you try to
Like,
touch me, you will be moving in infinity, forever slowing but never reaching. The asymptote never lines with the curve.
So less than that, but that isn't wrong to along the lines of what I wanted.
Okay.
Like this tiny area around him is just under his control.
Oh, okay. So it's a constant thing of just like whatever is currently within, say, like half a meter of his like standing space is under his control.
Yeah, make the probably the conscious effort to like put up that like little
That barrier, yeah.
Barrier is probably not the correct term, but yes, that barrier.
I mean, it's basically a barrier. It's
Yeah.
an area of like space that his power affects. So it's essentially a barrier category ability. So
True, but like it wouldn't be limited to just like you can't walk here. If there was like a chair here, he could move his hand, it would move.
right, I'm not saying that it's a barrier people can't pass through. I'm saying it is a barrier because it has a defined range of an area of effect in which he controls the area within that space.
Okay, yes, you are correct. All right.
Yeah. So,
How was this when you first unlocked it?
so with an ability like that, let's start by defining how far out does this reach?
Sure, let me get up real quick. I have so that I have an idea of how far things go. Let me get this tape measure that I happen to have on hand. All right, how far is 1 foot? That's not that far, right?
It's not.
So I'm here. I can hear you guys, but I do have background noise, so I'm gonna mute my mic.
Okay.
1 foot is not much. What's about is 2 feet too much?
Basically, imagine like the
2 feet's
average
just like your
man.
effective personal space.
Imagine the average man lying down in front of you. That's about 6 feet.
Yep. Oh, I have a tape measure now, and I'm walking around the circle of a rope.
Yeah.
All right. I think 3 feet's probably good, because having it not, just a bit more than one's true personal space would be.
Okay. And by control anything within that space, what do you mean? Like, does he have any effect on people's mental states? Or is it
Probably
just
not.
the physical things
Physical
around
world.
him? Okay.
Physical things, but like, if something comes into the physical realm, like if someone's ability was to like summon a sword and they throw it at him,
Mhm.
He could catch it with the ability, and
Right.
it would probably just float there or fall to the ground if he wanted it to fall.
Right. Okay. So he can move anything within that space without touching it.
Yes.
Then that's the ability. It's he can move anything within 3 feet of him without touching it.
That's a comma, that's not a period. Word.
So the very first time it shows up, it's gonna be like a static shock.
Mhm.
But it's gonna be like with every person that she meets for like a week.
Oh, so it's a constant effect.
So it's a battery and it
Mm.
charges up.
Interesting. Okay.
So over time it charges up until she like learns how to keep it contained, which would take a hot minute. But before she learns, it'd be like every time she goes to touch somebody, she like gets them a static shock, or she touches some metal and it zaps her
I
for a
see.
minute.
I'm
Well, not for a
imagine.
minute, but it like happens like
No, I'm
for a
imagining.
while.
I'm imagining she's waiting at the bus stop and she just has her hand on the metal pole, unknowingly connecting a circuit,
Yep.
and she pulls her hand away and there's like burn marks there, and she's like, "What happened?"
And the thing is, if she can't really feel it,
Yeah.
she might feel like a tingling. She'd be like, "Oh, that's weird."
Right. Okay. Cool. That's interesting.
But yeah, so it charges inside of herself. But if an outside force was introduced to her, she's not going to be able to handle that much energy at first.
So
It wouldn't be until like in her like high school years that she would be able to withstand incoming or outgoing a large amount of energy.
okay. So would you say? Let me posit something to you. Would you say that she is actively producing that energy, or that she
Yes.
is absorbing it and storing it in a different way than other people do?
Both.
Okay.
So she has like her own internal thing that's slowly generating it. Well, slowly at first, obviously. Um Later on she could probably turn it up more, but she can also take in energy. But if she takes in energy, there's only like so much she can take in before it actually starts to damage her.
Is she able to learn to stop producing this energy? Or does she just have to store it and build it up and then release it at some point?
She has to let it out eventually.
Okay. Then it's not can produce, it is produces.
Yes.
because she constantly produces it.
Yes. She can
In
turn it
fact,
up more though to produce it faster is what I meant to say.
no, I know. I'm just, I'm the only reason
So
I'm
it's
being a.
constantly producing,
Mhm.
but she can turn it up to 11 to make it go up faster.
Okay, and that'll be like when she later learns how to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So at this point, you can have a definitive amount of like, if you want to look up wattages and stuff, you can, but you could just say like about the amount of a static shock or something every, I don't know, if you want to say minute or hour, probably hour, something like that, to
Yeah.
make it like really weak at the beginning.
At the beginning, yeah. So that's how it starts. And then a little bit later, she gets up to like batteries where so she could power like a handheld console, like toy
Mm-hmm.
thing, like a DS.
Mm-hmm.
And then would produce more and more and eventually get to that of a car battery. And then we'll go past that.
So
Ow.
we'll put down the description for this power at the moment as produces and stores electric energy at about the amount of a static shock by the end of an hour.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
So we have finished up the ability phase. Now we move to the hierarchy phase. This is high school. You have, or really, this is like the beginning of high school when the hierarchy is establishing itself. You have your ability, you know what it is, you currently understand the limits of it. But those limits are growing, and they are growing rapidly as time goes on. Approaching whatever their maximum cap is going to be. Basically, the way that the abilities lore wise work in this world is uh like here we go. Here's where I wrote it down. By all known laws of this world, the kind of growth, like let's say Vincent, my super speed character, goes from 30 mph to 50 to 70 after being like after reaching the age of 18. That's physically impossible. If he reaches 30 mph by like 16 or 17, that's his maximum. He will never be able to go faster than that. At that point, the only way for him to increase his ability level or rank is by learning how to use his ability in different ways, by increasing the versatility of it. So, like, if he's able to run that 30 miles per hour, like, reach top speed, and then punch somebody in the face, that's increasing versatility. If he is able to reach that top speed sooner by using his muscles in a different way, that's increasing versatility. And that is, in an indirect way, raising his ability level. But everybody has a cap in this world. And that cap is locked by all public knowledge, by all public understanding of it. And it's locked like that for the rest of your life. So you reach that cap pretty quickly in high school. What I want to know is, for your characters, what is that cap? And where does it put you in the hierarchy? So, like, in the case of spatial command, he can move anything within 3 feet of him. That 3 feet is the starting range. What is the maximum range? And you said that Vern, you said that she could eventually reach the wattage of a car battery.
I would like her to go past that,
Okay.
but I'm wondering if that is too much.
I don't think so. Like, there are characters in the comic who have ability ranks of like 5 with lightning powers that are able to, like, not kill people, but definitely incapacitate them just by sending an electric charge through the ground. And the ground is not a fantastic lightning conductor. So,
Yeah, she's bullshit. Love her.
yeah, Remy is fantastic.
So she has a limit
Mm-hmm.
of how much she herself can produce.
Can produce.
But she can take in more up to a certain degree, and then if she goes past that, then it does like damage to her body, which could then, if she goes past that, it would become irreparable damage.
Okay, so she can store a lot.
She can store a lot.
Yeah,
It's
she can
how
store
much
a
can
lot
she produce
more.
on her own.
Yeah, she can store a lot more than she can produce on her own. And if she lets it last long enough, as she's like constantly producing, let's say she produces at the level of a car battery for a week,
Mm-hmm.
I am assuming that if she doesn't let that out, she will, like, she's not going to hit like a wall where her body can't produce anymore, and the only way to improve her charge would be to get it from like an actual car battery or some outside force. She could just keep building it.
It just keeps going. It's how much can her body withstand it.
Okay. So, okay. Do you want her to be able to produce electricity at the level of a car battery? Like, quickly.
It would probably, unless she's trying to, it would take like a week for it to build up to that charge, and then she would have to expel it.
Okay.
But on her own, if she tries to, like, if she's like, okay, I need energy right now, how much can I make right now? I would like to go up to like maybe above a carpet. I don't know. Because it is a high tier, so I want to be like, oh yeah, like a car battery and then more. But she's also expelling the total capacity of a car battery within like a second
Hmm.
or two. And that is a lot of wattage.
So go as high as you want her to be able to go. Don't worry about being broken. This entire world is run by broken people. And I mean that on broken as in overpowered and broken as in mentally deranged at the same time.
Hmm.
That's the way this world works. So if you are like, yeah, this is kind of what I want, but I'm worried it's going to be OP, do it.
Right, so she can keep producing it for like it produces infinitely. It never stops producing. It's how much can her body withstand.
Right. And she
Which
can ramp up
gets
the production.
stronger and stronger and stronger as she, learns to hold in more and more.
Yes. And she can ramp up production. How high can she ramp up production? That's the question that I'm asking.
She can get over a car battery's worth within an hour if she is pushing herself to generate it.
Okay. The amount at over.
Like she has to charge it up
The
inside of
amount
her
of
to
a
expel it.
car battery by the end of an hour. Okay. There we go. So those are the defined limits of her ability.
Yeah, And then she can just take in more energy from from an outside source to push it up to even faster.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's not too OP, but it's also a little OP.
Okay. Hmm. And given that she can store in this energy, I would say that some amount of super speed is logical because more energy in the body means the blood's pumping faster. It means you can move faster, you can do things, you can hit harder, you can hell, she could actually expend some of that energy just increasing the kinetic force of her hits.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of
You're
sense.
hearing it. You're hearing
Yeah.
exactly what I was trying to put out.
Yeah. All right. Nil, how goes your thoughts of the upper limits of your character?
I think I'm pretty solid on it. I didn't want them being super like um too rigid or too loose, but I've been looking up the average sizes of things for the last 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it has gotten bigger over the time, his area of command,
Right.
but with a drawback. So I looked up because I think his upper limit would probably be able to have a regular sized American school gymnasium under his control or
Ooh.
within his sphere of influence,
Okay.
which is roughly 120 feet.
Damn.
That's what I said. Which apparently, if the internet is to be trusted, equals 10 stories.
Mm. I could see that.
So going out that far, being able to influence that large of an area, but
Mm-hmm.
for every the further away it is that he is trying to influence, the weaker the influence.
Right.
So like if you're at the back end, he can try, but like pushing through it or something is probably significantly easier. With that though, the closer you are to him, if you were like right up against him, his sphere of influence is going to be unpalpable, almost absolute.
Mm-hmm.
These are just top numbers that I'm thinking of.
Okay. So, honestly, at that point, it is very similar to Gojo's ability to defend himself, except
I'm gonna
you
watch this show.
actually, yes, watch the show. You actually can stop them completely. They are not moving in infinity. They just don't move. Or,
Gojo's so fucking hot.
or
I just want to say that.
conversely, yes, conversely, since you can move them, you can just send them flying out in a direction and let them go and let the inertia take the rest.
Yeah.
Cool. So, that's a real high tier ability, mate.
I apologize. I'm also
Don't
completely fine
apologize.
if you wanna nerf
Do
it.
not
Alright.
apologize. You are gonna be hated by everyone.
That's nice. Come do something about it.
Exactly.
Don't actually, please. If you have too much confidence, I might flounder.
So, now is where the fun stuff comes. So we've done a lot of talking about what the upper limits of your abilities are, and I wanted to get this done before we name the aspects because I want to ask you guys. We need to figure out what kind of school you're in. So, Vern, you said that your character's abilities would have taken a while to grow as strong as they actually become.
Yeah, she's a late bloomer.
Okay,
But once she bloomed, she fucking bloomed.
right. So, would you
If it started
say
out like really, oh, what
how
was that?
late are we talking? Would you say she bloomed in third year of middle school or first year of high school or what?
Probably third year of middle school is when it comes in, and she like because she's already seen as a low tier just
Mm-hmm.
by her heritage. I imagine she is looked down on already,
Mm-hmm.
even going so far as to even assume that maybe she won't even have a power because of how late,
Right.
and bullying
Yeah,
children,
of
it
course.
just gets worse with that. um but then she goes to like do things and starts like zapping people by accident,
Mm-hmm. So,
and then it will progress from there.
so let me be more clear.
Okay.
When does she become strong enough that people recognize she's not a low tier?
When is our RP taking place?
RRP is taking place in like sophomore or junior year of high school, probably. Somewhere around there. Maybe junior, just to keep things even.
Where she's actually like not completely looked down anymore. Probably freshman year. It bloomed fast.
Okay. So
So
she's
it'd be like an end of freshman year, she's already like producing a shit ton and able to learn how to store it
there are
without
people that bloom
exploding.
faster in the comic
Oh, then
itself.
never mind. She fucking blooms over the summer.
Okay.
last year in middle school, she finally starts showing things. In the beginning of freshman year, she's already fucking zappies everywhere.
Okay. Cool. So, that's interesting. Given that, I don't think your character would have been able to get into a private school or anything.
No.
Nil. Would your
Yeah.
character have wanted to go to a private school?
No.
Cool.
Also, on this talk, he probably realized how strong his ability was before someone else and actively holds it back when people are around.
Cool. And that's another question. So usually people's abilities are like relevant to their parents' powers. Is is your character's ability something that is shared by the majority of your family?
It's a weird combination of two.
Okay.
Um, his mother's power was telekinesis,
Hmm.
and his father's power was I had it written down. I have to figure out out of my 8 tabs which one it's on. Um,
We'll figure it out. I just wanted to know if like this was something that people would know you had or something you could hide. So you uh would have chosen to hide the true limits of your power, which means you probably would have been like your parents probably would have been okay with you going to a public school, although they would have been annoyed by it.
that is my life.
Yeah. So okay. Now,
As soon as my character discovers her power, she's going to like push herself to go as hard as she can.
right.
But of course, she wouldn't like make it in time to. If we want to do a public school, she wouldn't make it in time to do any of the crazy shit because she only hits peak at the beginning of freshman year.
Yeah. She wouldn't even need to hit like peak because her peak would probably be at least a 5 on the
Yeah.
rating scale. I was asking when she'd be a mid tier.
Oh.
Or like at least a mid tier. Because if she's still a low tier by the end of third year of middle school, she got bullied throughout middle school.
Then yeah, it would have been throughout middle school.
Yeah. So she would have gotten to like a mid tier by the time high school started, and she'd be like, okay, cool. So now I'm not like, getting bullied by absolutely everyone. The high tiers still kind of treat me like shit, but I mean, what's new? Uh,
Yeah.
and then it gets stronger and stronger and stronger throughout that first year and throughout the second. It doesn't stop.
And then I imagine she's also gonna be given flack because she can't contain it at first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she's gonna be like
Like,
shooting off electricity in different directions occasionally. Like,
yeah.
shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah, at that point, it's not so much people being upset with her, like, hating her because she's a low tier and they can abuse her without consequences. It's people being annoyed that she's not controlling her power.
And then she starts producing it faster and faster and faster, so it just gets worse and worse and worse
yeah,
until
I
she
imagine
realizes how to control it.
I imagine she would be receiving remedial lessons for that. Like,
Remedial lessons.
yeah, teachers would pull her out and be like, "You need to learn how to control your power. We're gonna sign you up, but we know you are. We're gonna sign you up with someone who knows how to manipulate electricity, and they're gonna help you."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's the kind of stuff that's the kind of stuff they would have had to do in middle school for most people. I don't think your power would have been powerful enough to cause classroom disruptions at that point. So
Yeah, not yet.
yeah,
It
so
wouldn't have been until high school that she's like firing off in different directions.
Exactly.
She's like, shit, I'm sorry.
exactly, like you end up getting to the point where everybody's fucking phones are sticking to your face, and you're like, "I'm really trying my best here, guys."
Accidentally lets off a fucking EMP in
Yeah,
the middle of English.
precisely. So yeah, you probably would have received those at like freshman or sophomore year, most likely freshman year. And after that, you would have been able to control this stuff. Now, this is where I get the fun stuff that Nil knows, but you don't yet, Vern. Every school, every middle school and every high school, and even every college in this world has its monarchs, its royalties. And they're like canonically acknowledged by the school. Like, these are the people who represent the school. They are the king, the queen, the jack, and occasionally there's an ace. The aces, when they do exist, are so powerful, they are considered above the monarchy. They don't run the school. They don't bring any laws to the school unless they really, really need to. They are allowed to focus entirely on themselves and encouraged to do so because these are the kinds of people that will probably be running the goddamn country when they graduate. The king is the strongest person in school that actually does the fighting. Like, they represent their school in what's called turf wars, where basically you just have sparring matches with the strongest people from other schools to establish who is, like, societally speaking, the most important. Because, hey, look at us. We produced this incredibly powerful teenager. We taught them how to use their ability this way. We are important. Give us more funding. Sorry, brain. So, king is the strongest. Queen is generally thought of as second strongest, usually a female, as obvious, but king can be female or male. Same with jack, male or female. I don't know why the queens are usually females. It's a little weird.
Sexism.
I guess sexism, yeah. But it's also just weird that, the king can be either a male or a female. There's no, like, restriction there. Though I guess the only ace we're introduced to in the school is the female who is stronger than the male king at that school. So maybe when a queen is more powerful than a king, she becomes an ace. I don't know. But the point is that both of you could be strong contenders for that title. For a title in the royal stature of your school. What I want to ask is, are you? For example, Vern, is your character the queen of the school or a jack? Or is she lower than that? And bear in mind, this is a...
Well, if
Sorry.
so, if it takes place in junior year, she might be at the level that she could be. I don't know if the question is, do the other students recognize her as that?
The position kind of makes them.
Yeah.
Like if you
So,
got this position and then someone like made fun of her, your Jack, like if she was king, your Jack and Queen would both defend you because they have to.
yeah. Basically, the idea is if you beat the jack of whatever school you're at in a fight, you are the new jack. You just took their title by beating them in a fight. And the whole school saw you beat them in that fight. So they all know not to piss you off. You are the de facto jack at that point. Like, freaking, you can choose not to take their title if you want. You can just say, no, I don't want to be a royal. I don't want to represent the school. You have that option. But you're going to be disappointing all of your teachers. You're going to be disappointing your fellow classmates. The current jack is going to lose all respect. Just fucks with the entire hierarchy. And there are some schools that genuinely would not allow that. Whether or not this is one of those schools, we'll see.
I love the Jack in the webcomic, by the way.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, he's cool. And it's the same deal with the queen, same deal with the king. You beat someone, you beat a royal, you can take their title.
I don't know if she has yet. I think she wants to. She's about to go do it, but
Fair.
or she
Okay.
wants to go do it.
If alright, so if like someone that has been recognized as one of the top, I'm gonna say 5 because saying top 4 people is a weird number to make.
No, yeah, there is a
Five
top 5.
strongest people in the school like walk by and did a like stupid shoulder check thing, then looked at like clearly and they're wrong, then looked at her and said, watch where you're going or something obligatorily confrontational, would she just let that slide?
At the point that she's at, probably. At least
Okay.
in the freshman year, for sure.
In freshman year. Okay.
All the way through freshman year, probably. And
Right.
probably partway through sophomore year is when she finally starts to stand up for herself and is like, nah, fuck this.
Okay.
What year are we starting?
Again, junior.
Thanks, Chief. I'll make sure I ask again.
So,
They're starting in junior year, right?
I'm sorry.
I'm going to use the restroom.
Wait, no.
Can I come?
Fuck did you just say? I actually do need to pee. So, we're going to take a break real quick while you guys get over it. Okay,
So,
we're back. So, where were we when I left? Shit.
we're talking about
Um,
the ranks.
Yes, the royalties.
Yeah.
So, by junior year, Vern,
yeah.
uh, let's say top 10 students in the school. Where do you imagine your character would fit?
At this point in junior year,
Mm-hmm.
like an actual ability or just as
In
they see
actual,
her?
in actual ability, because that is how you are seen.
Ah, good point. Okay.
Like, your ability is seen before anything else about you.
I see. Okay.
Like, I'm talking
By
freaking,
this point,
doesn't
she
matter
would
how
be
good
able
you
to
are at
use
school
it.
or whatever. Doesn't matter
No.
how, like, does not matter how you behave, does not matter your attitude. If you have a stronger ability, you are more respected than the guy everybody likes. Period.
Unless you ain't got no hands, then
But that's
you
exactly
can't
it.
throw down.
If you have a stronger ability, you got hands.
True. True.
Or in your case, Nil, you don't need to have hands.
Yeah, they fight themselves for me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine thinks of a number. I have a question for you.
What's up?
So the reason I said earlier that I was going to just fictitiously say 5 instead of 4 is because Joker isn't technically a card.
Right.
Is Joker a card in this?
So, you need to catch up with the comic. Because there is a Joker in the
Well, I
comic.
know who the Joker is, but it's not
Okay.
a fully accepted card.
Of course not. It's not in this either.
But
That
if I
doesn't
want
mean it
to
doesn't
transpose
exist.
myself as it,
You could if you wanted to.
because he's keeping his power in check. And though he wants to be involved in this to see what's going on, because he's a nosy little prick, Joker would be the ideal position, because half of Joker is you're really good this today, and then oh boy, you suck tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's at least what the cards are viewed as.
Well, I mean, as far as like the card's existence in the actual like comic and therefore in this world, it's the wild card. You
Yeah.
don't know what this guy's gonna do, and it could ruin the entire hierarchy
Fair.
because you never know what it's gonna do. It doesn't follow the school's rules. Like I would argue that freaking the main character was always the Joker.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just Arlo chose to draw the card, and he paid the price for it.
Arlo, such a good written character.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, what a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
He also annoys me where I am.
He gets better.
I know he does. He has to get better.
Yeah, exactly. He literally doesn't have a choice.
No, it's that or bad
Die.
stuff. Yeah, not just him.
Yep. So,
Alright,
is
fine.
that where you want your character to stand in the hierarchy, Joker?
It's that or Jack.
Hmm.
Because these are the two least committal roles.
Right.
I can be there.
You could
But if I'm a
also
Jack-
choose not to be a part of the hierarchy at all.
Yes, but he wants to see how things play out.
Okay.
And if I'm part of it, I'm told when these things are happening.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I really don't like that guy who was about to win, maybe he tripped. There was a rock there. It's not my fault.
Mhm. Okay.
So what are you thinking, Vern?
I don't know. What am I thinking now?
My brain powers aren't working.
I think her goal is to get to being an ace right now.
An ace. Okay.
She wants to be respected and powerful and
Mm.
seen as more than what everyone assumed her to be when she grew when she was a child.
But she doesn't want the responsibility that comes with running the school.
Yes.
Okay.
She wants to become an ace. I'd say that she sits so the cards are like the top 5, right?
Yep.
More
She
or
sits
less.
like just outside of them at this point,
Okay.
and her current main goal is to become the ace. She wants to be that respected.
Okay. So,
Oh.
sitting outside the top 5, would you be like number 7, number 6?
Lucky number 7.
Okay. So,
So your goal might be challenge the Jack because that's the easiest way to get into hierarchy.
Exactly.
yeah.
Unless you think you can just run hands with the king or queen, that's different. Go fuck them up.
Mm. So, I want your aspects for this part of the hierarchy to include that title, whatever ranking you're at right now. So, you like hell, you could even go whole hog with the card thing and just be like, in the case of your character Vern, maybe 7 of clubs because she's ready to go swinging.
Just putting Mambo number 5.
Mom number 5. Amazing. All right. And obviously, Jokers don't really have suits. They're either the red Joker or the black Joker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call her the Lucky 7.
Say, did you just put down the Joker of red?
Yeah.
All right, then. So, cool. Now, let's do skills. 4 skill
4
ranks.
again.
Yep. Based on your position in the hierarchy.
2 just in case. I should level bluff again.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's like half of what I said, so I need another 2. And I have
No, you need 1 more in 2. Oh wait, no,
yeah,
that's
I
what
need
you
one
said.
more
Sorry.
2. Yeah.
I thought when you said
I was-
you need another 2, I thought you were like, no.
Is willpower?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Your own mental strength
Boom.
of sorts.
Bluff of 3. Alright, let's go. I can't let people think I'm doing that good. Did I hit the wrong button? Did I hit an extra button?
No, you would need 1 more skill in a +2 in order to have 2 +3s.
Oh, you're right. Fuck. Let's take it out of. What did I put one in?
And I will say, once your skills are in the +1, you can't just move them back to mediocre. You have developed those skills. You can save your current skill ranks that you have for later on, like for the next phase. So like you can spend just 3 and save 1 for the 5th phase if you want to.
Okay, I'll sit on the one I have then,
All right.
because I can't.
Just saying because I think I saw somebody move something from average to mediocre. I'm like that's not how people work.
Oh, that's yeah. I was like this one, this one. Oh wait, I should do this. This one makes more sense. Go back. The ones I just added, get rid of them.
Okay, cool. All right. So, are we all finished updating our skills for now?
I'm good.
Vern?
And now I'm done, I think.
All right, cool.
Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 16.
Cool.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
now is where we get the goal phase. So, uh, the hierarchy was basically this is where you have risen to. Goal is where do you want to go now? Now, Vern, you already said that your character wants to become royalty. They want to be the ace of this school. Do you want that to be your focus for the goal at this point? Or do you want something like a longer term goal in life?
What usually happens with aces once they finish school?
Uh, they pursue whatever they really want to do, although it's usually expected that they're either going to go into a job for the government or they're going to go into politics. Or, something else big like that. Maybe they become, maybe they start their own business and it explodes because, they're already expected to succeed, so of course they do. Because in case you haven't noticed, this society is fucking rigged.
It just so happens we're on the
game's
good
fucking rigged.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think, yeah, I think eventually she would want to use the ability so she becomes ace. That's what she wants currently.
Mm-hmm.
But aces usually become more powerful in the government eye.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to get to that position and use her influence and power to change some things. Because she grew up in being a low tier and treated poorly because she was seen that way.
I
And she
see.
wants to change that.
Okay. Interesting. So, what name would you give that goal?
Hmm. Something with ambition in it, probably.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Or maybe something with the word ace in it. Hmm. Oh, sorry.
You're good. What about you, Neil? What's your
He kind
boys?
of just he kind of just wants to watch things play out.
Hmm.
He doesn't have like a I want to go do this big thing. He wants to find someone with a good interesting goal and just follow them and see if they do it.
Okay.
My life's already set. My parents are already great. By great, I mean, society and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So his probably is like a short-term goal.
Okay.
Like one he's going to achieve moderately quickly, and then maybe this person's aspirations will spark something in me, and maybe I'll want to be a better person.
Okay. So he's basically looking for a reason to care.
Yes.
Hmm.
He's looking for a reason to fight back or something.
Yeah.
He's looking for his protagonist.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what name would you give that goal? Like, what aspect would you call that?
Hmm. Aspects are just like kind of whatever I want to say about the goal in like a one word or a small phrase.
One to
Something that describes
two,
it, right?
1 to 2 words, maybe with a connector in between. That is
I found. Oh, sorry.
the name for it. So, like, for example, um, hero search or something. If you're looking for the protagonist of the story, you know. There was a time when I was like, in most literal terms, what is this thing? But nowadays, I'm like, you can be a bit more artistic with it. It's fine. So yeah, Vern, what were you saying?
I found my name for it, I think. I think
Yeah.
this works.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. I think her biggest trait is definitely luck at this point. I love it.
Hmm.
She's just lucky.
I named it Comes the Hero because that sounds better.
Dun-na-na-na, 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 dun-na-na.
I'm not changing it. I refuse to change.
Hey, you're already getting in the spirit of UnOrdinary. You refuse to change. Alright.
Yeah, look, I need someone to want to change enough to make me want to change, and then we're good.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, cool. So, you got the name for your last aspect. Time to pick out your last 4 skill ranks, unless you want to save them for when you get more. And you will get
I
more
have
during the
5
course of
'cause I
play.
saved one.
I'm trying to think what fits her. Oh, I know. At 1. No. 2.
Oh, and to be clear about the melee combat skill, that is for melee weapons.
Uh-huh.
So, like swords and stuff.
Oh, I thought it meant
Unarmed is for
punchy.
punch.
Yeah, unarmed is the punchy one.
Oh, fucking shit. Can I fix that?
Yeah, of course. That's why I brought it up. Was like, oh, so she's better with like a metal bat than her fists? That doesn't seem right.
No. She punchy.
I mean,
I eventually want
Fair.
her to get like a wire that she can like throw something and it like wraps around somebody's wrist and she fucking zaps them if she can't get her hands on them. Or like, I don't know, a grappling hook to fucking yeet herself around. That'd be funny. Well, she can already super speed though.
Well, she can move faster than the average person for sure.
Yeah.
Because of her.
Shit. Okay, so that's like 3 fucking things, and I have to figure out where to put them at.
Hmm.
Oh, fucking. All right. So how many skill points do we have in total to use
As of this moment,
right
you
now?
now have 20.
8. There's 20 in total.
Yes.
6. Right, and there was that one thing. Okay. So there was a point in her life where she was being bad apple.
Hmm.
Before she discovered her power, she was definitely being a little a bad kid.
Hmm.
Well, I don't even know where I would fit that in actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So I want her to have gone to juvie at some point. Where would I fit that in at?
I'd recommend elementary or middle. Reckless Rebellion could definitely fit there.
Oh, yeah, like middle school. She like got in with the wrong crowd.
Hell, the aspect of battery could even work for assault and battery.
Oh, she she was breaking and entering. So I don't know if it was assault and battery though.
Okay, what did she go to juvie for then?
Getting caught breaking into somebody's fucking house and stealing their shit.
Why did she do that?
Um, low tier family, not a whole lot of eyes on her.
Hmm.
Ended up with the wrong crowd. And they're like, hey, and I lost my train of thought. Awesome.
Ended up with the wrong crowd, and they're like, hey, what? Why did they encourage her to break into this house and try to steal something?
Maybe they were gonna rob one of the kids from school, one of their families, because they pissed them off enough. And they're like, you want in?
Okay, so she would have been brought in with a group then.
Yes.
Okay.
So she would have done it a couple of times at least.
Mm.
But then at the end of the day, she was the one left holding the bag, and the rest of them got away.
Oh, so she was the scapegoat, basically.
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. What tier was the family, or were the families that she would usually rob?
Usually high tier families. Because they're seen as more elite and
Okay.
richer.
Then I'm gonna have something fun to tell you.
Okay.
After the session,
Uh-oh.
or after character creation is finished and stuff like that.
Is what I'm doing okay? Should I
It's
change
no,
that?
no. You're totally fine. You're allowed to do all of that. I'm just gonna let you know something happened, and I'm gonna tell you what. but I'm
Yikes.
going to tell you after.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes.
What?
Whatever happened. Yikes.
Oopsies.
So,
So,
you guys have already allocated all of your skills, right?
yeah.
10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wait, hold on. 12, 13, 14. Okay.
It's 20, right?
Yep, 20. And if you want to save, like, the last skill rank because you don't know what you'd use it on, you absolutely can do that.
Yeah, I think I will. I'll wait and use the last one for later.
Okay. Then I'll go ahead and make a note down here. Available skill ranks after character creation 1. And now we can close the editing tabs because we're done. That's your character sheets.
Nice. I should probably name my character, huh?
Yeah, you guys probably should do that. I was just about to say. Did you just fucking name your character Ryoma?
Yeah, why not?
Just getting
Give me a
Fire
reflection.
Emblem, Fire Emblem flashbacks. That's all. So
I think I like Ryoba. I don't remember. I know he had a bunch of armor and he looked cool.
yeah. Okay. Cool. So, man, it really sucks that Nero isn't here because I'm either going to have to wait for them to show up to do character creation with them off stream later, or if they're not able to do this stuff, then I'm just going to have to find a different third person and do their character creation off stream later. But regardless, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to do on stream, was just figure out all of your characters, and I thought it would take longer, but again, we're missing a person. So, I think we're going to close out stream here. Thank you so much to everybody who stopped by to watch. If you want to see any more of things like this, different role-playing stuff, I do run a Pathfinder game for my friends, and I play a D&D game with my friends. Whenever we play that stuff, that always happens on Sundays at 7 p.m. PST over on twitch.tv/unholybasil. There's a link to that on my channel. I am also going to put a link down in chat, assuming YouTube lets me do that, just by typing it out, to Vernadera's Twitch account, because she streams there far more regularly than I do. You can just copy and paste that over, and I'll make sure to put a link in the description of this video, the bod of this video, so that anybody can pop over to watch her streams, because she's actually a consistent streamer and entertaining and cool.
Consistent, I haven't streamed in a week.
Listen, you're consistent when your health allows you to be consistent.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So she also streams for the player's side whenever I'm running Pathfinder. And she's usually the one who just streams the D&D ones anyway. So yeah, I also stream at noons on Sunday. I do these like cheesy self-care Sunday things that I'm pretty happy about. So if you want to catch me over there too, very happy to have you. And I do apologize for not uploading another video for a long while. I swear it's coming. It's on its way. I'm doing my best. There's so much to edit in, so much to deal with, but I'm almost done. Hold out for like a month, probably.
I have been watching him. He's doing it. I promise, guys.
Okay. So, again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my players for joining me today. Very fun to have you guys. And look forward to another update of this debacle sometime in a month, sometime in September. So, yeah. Until next time, take it easy. I'll see y'all later. Peace.